Well, in the case of Bitcoin, we are observing how, for the moment, the price is respecting its structure. As we've just seen in the case of Cardano, we've identified a very relevant level that will define whether the crypto market will fall in the immediate term or not. Ultimately, this cross-analysis aligns perfectly with Bitcoin. On the right, you can see Cardano, and it seems the price is reacting, which would mean Bitcoin is also reacting to this structure. We might consider it a classic micro-market trap. In this video, we'll analyze the short and medium-term outlook for crypto. We'll give significant importance to how Chainlink has reached this level, so surgically to initiate a reaction contrary to its main movement. Don't worry, we'll get to Bitcoin soon, but it's important to understand the following. If we look at Chainlink on a daily time frame, we'll realize that we were looking for this trend line, assigning it vital importance as it represents the level, the origin of the breakout. This level defined in early May 2022 that we would start a slow and tortuous bearish process, not only for Chainlink but for the entire crypto market. In previous videos, we emphasized this trend line, anticipating that this level would play a significant role sooner or later. We're not here to debate whether this level will be breached, but rather to consider the likely scenario of some kind of reaction when the price reaches it. We'll see if this is done to initiate a macro correction before continuing, or if they seek small corrections. In other words, minor reactions to the structure before proceeding. What is clear is that we expect these types of reactions. Chainlink's recent event has prompted us to reassess if we correctly plotted Bitcoin's breakout origin level. As you've just seen, Chainlink reached its level in a surgical manner, a level we had marked on our chart for a long time. So, we re-evaluated the breakout origin level for Bitcoin. Recalibrating the structure, we realized that Bitcoin had indeed reached its breakout origin. It seemed odd that only Chainlink had reached it, and Bitcoin was hypothetically so close. But, by calculating correctly, we see that Bitcoin has already reached it. We have the same theory here. When the price reaches the breakout origin, it's common to observe this type of reaction, indicating a strong bearish impulse. What we find crucial is this bullish climactic action that sought the breakout origin, a response that is nothing but a strong bearish impulse. Bears are asserting themselves, and they are doing it at the breakout origin on a very relevant structure. If we zoom in, many will recall that when Bitcoin's price was around these levels, we expected a strong upward impulse. Therefore, we can expect the classic climactic bullish action. This climactic action is observed as a final point to all this macro compression work against a relevant level. And not only that, but if we zoom into this area and switch to a 15-minute time frame, we evaluated that the price would offer an excellent entry opportunity if we waited for it down here and then bought Bitcoin. So, we will consider that the price has room for movement, perhaps making a trap before recovering, breaking. Ultimately, we are betting on a bullish outcome since regaining the defense zone, as it did, and thinking about such a significant structural validation accompanied by a compression, which would be a correction regarding the preceding bullish impulse, helps a lot to think that we can prioritize the idea of longs. While there have been great opportunities to join this bullish trend in the crypto market, what we need to consider now, as mentioned earlier, is that Bitcoin's price has offered a reactive bearish impulse when it dramatically hit a very relevant structure. This implies that we are currently in the corrective pattern of the bearish impulse. Although we will talk about Bitcoin, we will use other charts such as Solana to understand the macro structure of the market. As you know, we have been observing in Solana that they have surpassed the CRIC very aggressively. This event, frankly, for the medium to long term, makes us positive about the crypto market. However, you know that smart money often seeks the breakout origin. Since they have caused a strong bullish impulse here, it's normal to have a small corrective pattern before any continuation. However, be very careful. It would be imprudent to try to reverse the market as if we were the smartest in the class and start selling. Instead, what would be prudent is to consider how to continue opening long positions. That's why we look for a trend line in Solana, which is the one you are seeing on the screen. If, in the future, it is surpassed, it would tell us that the bullish market has not ended. It could continue looking up in the short and medium term. If you remember, it would be very similar to what we told you not long ago. Remember, before the CRIC breakthrough, as we were assessing how the price would enter a reaccumulation process. Here, we were already looking for a similar trend line to what we are searching for up here today. It would indicate that breaking it upwards would imply bullish movements for Solana and the crypto market. Of course, Solana may have room to revisit the crick if it wants to. If it does or doesn't, it will seek liquidity. But the idea is to seek an impulse that will satisfy this entire range. Perhaps, why not revisit these levels? Well, now we'll assess the likelihood that Solana, before continuing upward, has to make some kind of retracement or not. Of course, we'll also assess whether Bitcoin, in the immediate term, has to retreat or not before going up. In this video, we'll answer this question, and for this purpose, we'll use cross-analysis. This time, we'll use Cardano's chart. If you find this advanced technical analysis interesting, let me know in the comments. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future publications. Let's go back and jog our memory a bit. As you know, Cardano was in a macro bearish channel on this 4-hour time frame. At the time, we were observing the possibility of the price having some kind of reaction around the median line, the dashed line you see in the middle of the screen. Simultaneously, we noticed it was compressing, and it's in this recent bullish event across the entire crypto market that it managed to break the structure of the macro bearish channel, a significant event that we give great importance to. Switching to a 1-hour time frame, let's examine the following. The breakout of the structure was done with a trap. Notice how they break seem like they will return, which is false, recover, test, and then move upward. Now, we need to evaluate what will happen in the immediate short term. That's why we've identified this trend line, which we will give great importance to. We need to assess whether it's a distribution, and if this micro break could lead Cardano's price downward. To answer this question, crucial as Cardano's movements often influence other altcoins and even Bitcoin, we'll use the Cardano chart as a proxy. Currently, you're looking at the order flow chart, and if we zoom out, you can see the same Cardano structure that is supposedly breaking now. However, in this chart, there's an additional line at the price level of 3,652 cents, the horizontal green line. Let's consider the following. If we analyze the delta, which is the difference between the ask and the bid, we'll notice something strange. In this supposedly breaking red candle, the delta is oriented towards the ask. How can a large and powerful red candle, as I'm pointing out on the screen, have a delta clearly favoring the ask? In other words, that drop has been bought. This event is of immense importance. Look inside that candle. You won't remain indifferent. The price seems to be breaking the structure, and within this red cluster, purchases appear in a red candle. But these purchases, as evident in volume and delta, have clearly been promoted by smart money. That's why we attach so much significance to the price level of $36.52. Now, let's see what else has happened in this chart. Moving upward, we see trapped long sellers taking action on Cardano's chart, pushing its value down, an essential event. Looking further to the right, we notice the following. Trapped buyers appear, and subsequently sellers take control, managing to move the price down after trapping those in long positions. Here, we see a significant institutional presence pushing the price down from these levels. If we look a bit to the right, we'll notice that it seems like the price went to seek the breakout origin. These 4 1-hour candles, in reality, form a distribution that has its own creek. And if we shift it to the right, as we've done here, we can identify the breakout origin. This is why the price respected this structure, and we also give great importance to how, coincidentally, in these 4 candles, the levels of the highest transactional volume are extremely compact. A signal that smart money at this price level has a selling interest? Looking a bit further to the right and seeing selling interest at these levels, if we draw an imaginary line in this area, we'll notice that retail investors try to buy and the price failed. Once again, it approaches the level, buyers appear and they move it. And once more, at an inopportune level, retail investors come to buy, and in the consecutive candle, sellers push the market down. So, there's no doubt that sellers seem to have the upper hand here. This is why we've given great importance to this breakout. But beware, this crucial horizontal green line, identified a bit to the left, must not go unnoticed, as it's a level in a trap scenario where we can clearly see that smart money has bought. Therefore, we are at a key institutional boundary. If we want to see Cardano's price go down after breaking this micro crick, it will be crucial to overcome the cluster we've identified here with order flow. It's somewhat like our insurance. Therefore, we'll pay great attention to how, in this order flow chart, there are purchases appearing at the lower limit of this structure structure that smart money would want to defend. And at the same time, in the consecutive candle, will give importance to the fact that these sellers at first glance are unable, pending the candle's closure, to push the price down. For now, it seems that this selling force is failing. Now, let me share with you what I think will happen in the crypto market with Cardano and Bitcoin. If you find this advanced technical analysis interesting, let me know in the comments. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future publications. In the case of Cardano, we've identified a very important cluster right here. If we see that this trend line ends up being broken, then we might consider, why not, a continuation to the downside. However, always considering the macro perspective. But be cautious! If it's a trap, this level won't be breached. This would imply that, without a doubt, we are at an optimal point to look for buys. If this breakout is deceptive, the current price level of Cardano at the time of recording this video would be ideal to initiate a trap and recovery process that sends Cardano's price upward. And looking at the Solana chart, here we need to let it play out. Let the price take its time, and frankly, if it wants to drop a bit, there wouldn't be any problem, as it still has room to do whatever it needs to. But what Solana will facilitate is seeing that if the price in the future breaks this trend line, it would be then that we can be optimistic on a somewhat more macro level about the Solana chart and other cryptocurrencies. Ultimately, I've just outlined the defense zone. Here, we might see the price, and we'll see with Cardano if it immediately takes a small drop before continuing to reaccumulate, breaking, although Cardano could show us that it may not be keen on continuing to fall in the immediate term. So, in the case of Solana, we need to let it play out initially, always observing this trend line so that once broken and confirmed, we can look for upward entries. Now, concerning Bitcoin, we are observing how, for the moment, the price is respecting its structure. As we've just seen in the case of Cardano, we've identified a very relevant level that will define whether the crypto market will fall in the immediate term or not. This cross-analysis aligns perfectly with Bitcoin because, on the right, you're seeing Cardano, and it seems the price is reacting. This implies that Bitcoin is also likely reacting to this structure, and in the end, we could consider it a classic micro-market trap. Therefore, the moral of the story is that we are in a very interesting zone for bullish reactions in crypto prices, just like in Cardano. If, in the future, we manage to break this structure, then we can expect, in the short term, a bearish movement for cryptocurrencies, not only for Cardano, but also for Bitcoin. I hope the message is clear, and it has helped you find new market opportunities in the crypto ecosystem for today and the coming days. I wish you good luck in your trading, and see you in the next one.